Here's Jalen Hurts on his ankle right now.
How do you know when you're back to pre-injury form, and how does that ankle feel right now?
It feels fine. Been good enough for us to get 2 wins.
The end. That's all right. Good for you. Nick Sirianni said they're not calling plays any different now because of Jalen Hurts' ankle. They're still doing it. They're still trying to be cautious with it, but Jalen Hurts is saying it really hasn't limited him. He's thinking he's back at 100% right now. So going into Washington this weekend, they're not expecting it to hinder his game at all. 100%. Hey, 2-0 with the ankle when he's playing. All right, let's see if you can make a 3-0 against the Washington football team. So ankle shouldn't be a hindrance to him at all. Now this is the other part of that. Jalen Hurts, one of the things I have said multiple times about this guy is that I'm rooting for him to be the franchise guy. I love his mindset. I love that he's got a chip on his shoulder. I love the idea that he's not a first-round pick. Because I feel like a lot of guys, Carson Wentz, that come in here as the saviors of the franchise, they'll come in and they'll have all this arrogance, they'll have all this cockiness, they'll have, I know more than you, they'll be given all this power right out of the gate, all the guaranteed money right out of the gate. Not all the guaranteed money like Sam Bradford guaranteed money, but you know what I'm saying. More than the next guy. And I like guys that have that chip on their shoulder where they're a little bit of the underdog. Dak Prescott, a 4th-round pick. All of a sudden, he comes out with the Cowboys. I liked him back in Mississippi State, so this isn't him as a Cowboy that I like. But, he's got that chip on his shoulder because he was a late-round pick. Miles Sanders, 2nd round ain't bad, but it ain't 1st round, especially not 2nd overall like Carson Wentz. So I like that he has that chip on his shoulder, and he's always trying to prove himself to people. I am rooting for him to be the starting quarterback going forward. And I mean for the next 10 years, 15 years. I hope this is the guy because he has the mindset and the attitude. And I think his skills will continue to develop over time. And I'm hoping he gets that time. I am rooting for him to be that guy. And this is one of the main reasons. No stone left unturned. I told you at the start of the show how he meets with Jeff Stoutland to talk about the offensive line and what the protections are going to be. I told you earlier in the show that he also meets with Jason Kelce. This is Jalen Hurts talking about what he goes over when he meets with his Pro Bowl center.
I think he's been a teacher for me in so many different ways, seeing how he plays the game, seeing what he sees, and then me making those same calls he makes and me being able to be like, hey, you good with this, kind of communicating, making sure we're all on the same page. So kind of like I said before with Coach Stout, and the player coach, Jason Kelce is. I value that, and I'm always trying to soak up as much as I can from him. And one thing I told him during the game is, I told him I had a lot of love for him. I'm on the sideline. I told him that, and I told him I really appreciate how willingness you are to help the people around you. And I think I said that wrong. Willing, excuse me. I think I told him I appreciate how willing he is to help the people around him, and lead the O-line room the way he does. It all is appreciated.
I did not root for that guy. Going to a center, going over notes. I don't know when that was in the game. I don't know if that was when Gardner Minshew came in at the end of the game. Oh, by the way, I was right on that prediction. Gardner Minshew comes in anyway. Jalen Hurts gets a little rest against the Giants. Your boy had that one. Anyway, but you got to love that. They're having a little meeting. I love you. I love you. Oh, it's beautiful. But they're also talking about what they can do to improve going forward. I mean, Jalen Hurts, you could call it a chip on his shoulder. I call it humility. To be able to go up to somebody and more or less confess that you don't know more than them. You know, in fact, less than them. And you want to try to glom as much information. You want to try to glean as much information as you possibly can from that person so that you become a better player. I don't really feel like you had a lot of that in the previous regime. And I feel like you have a lot of that now. It's like when I watch Jalen Hurts now, and yes, I'm harshly critical of what he does throughout games. I mean, he had 3 incompletions the other day against Washington. Hopefully he has that same type of performance this time around. But I am trying to grade him the way that I know Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman are trying to grade him for the future, which is I think they're looking as a guy as for drafting him to not be a starter. I think they're looking for a guy that I think they're looking for flaws to go, oh, no. See, we got to get the guy that we know is going to be the starter for the foreseeable future. When in reality, even if that guy fell into your lap in the second round, and even though at the time it was the dumbest thing you like to take a quarterback in the second round, you still drafted him. Give him time to get to that point. I'm not saying give him 5 years. I'm not saying you give him 3 years. Give him 1 more year. I have a lot more confidence and would much rather stick with Jalen Hurts for next year than anybody else in this draft class. Than I would even the odds of an Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers wants to come here, come on down. Russell Wilson wants to come here, come on down. I do not see those things happening. Deshaun Watson, as I told you yesterday, I'm not getting near that until you know what is resolved with him. But right now, I don't see a better option and more likely option than Jalen Hurts being your starting quarterback next year. And I'll tell you how I feel about it. I'm fine with it. I'm quite frankly happy about it because I want to see the steps he takes to improve. I want to see if he can get Pro Bowl consideration and put this team in week 16 now, going into week 17, into the playoffs, which is where they're at right now at 8-7. I want to see what he can do next year when he's actually the undisputed starter of the Philadelphia Eagles. Will there be conversation in the offseason about Pickett? Will there be conversation about Watson and Rodgers and Wilson and whatever it might be? Yes, there'll be conversation. I saw somebody sent me this yesterday, ESPN. They were talking about Kirk Cousins being traded to the Eagles. Gah! Ah! Like, what more speculation do we need to do here? Like, enough is out there. Stop adding to it. Ugh. Speculation that was. It wasn't a report. Just for the record, before you guys lose your minds like I did. But when it comes to Jalen Hurts, I'd much rather just stick with him for 1 more year. If I could see this type of maturation coming from 4 years as a starter last year to starting an entire season this year, what could he do in 1 more year? And as far as the running goes, that doesn't concern me right now because he's such a young, inexperienced quarterback. If he's doing the same thing next year, that's going to scare me a little bit. As long as the running backs are running, I'm happy. Quarterback, I'd rather stay in the pocket, make the play with his arm. So that's what I want to see develop.